If you want to know why your research stops right here and why a Torqit exhaust is exactly what you need, then I'm down here at Torqit's factory in Newcastle, New South Wales, and I'm about to chat with the team that's responsible for designing my exhaust on my Y62 Patrol. And in case you've forgotten what that sounds like, that is as good as it gets. Torqit is a family-owned business that was founded in 1980. For over 40 years, their mission has been to develop powerful upgrades that take your four-wheel drive's performance to the next level, and exhausts are their bread and butter. With their whole family involved, they have over 100 years of combined exhaust knowledge. It's no wonder my Y62 sounds so good. I'm at Torqit today with Jimmy, who has been with Torqit longer than anyone else other than the founder, the most senior member here, and has forgotten more about exhausts than most people will ever want to know. Jimmy, I can go online today and buy a complete exhaust kit for my Y62 for under $1,000.
100% you can.
What's the difference between that and a premium quality exhaust kit?
You know, when you look on our exhaust systems, aside from the fact that we always use thick 3 or 4 grade stainless steel, you'll find that our welds are always done inside and out. You'll see that we always use matching 3 or 4 grade laser cut flanges. We don't use, you know, zinc coated mild steel or any other material, and we certainly don't use slip joints and clamps. You'll often see on some of our higher end exhausts just full fabrication. So I mean, this bracket's had to be first laser cut out of a plate of steel and then folded and then, you know, basically welded together separately so that it can be added onto this pipe. On cheaper exhausts, you will almost always just see basic rod hangers, because that's a far easier thing to fabricate onto the pipe. The material, the fabrication, the flanges, these are things that you can expect out of a high quality exhaust system. Keep an eye on mufflers. The seams on mufflers, generally you would want them spot welded rather than to be a rolled seam. There's lots of little fabrication details. You know, we make our stuff out of tube that starts as 2 mil thick 3 or 4 grade stainless tube, and then we mandrel bend it. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, 2 mil, but the industry standard's like 0.9 of a mil to about 1.2. So we're up and around double the thickness of what you'll find as an industry standard for 3 or 4 grade stainless exhausts. So I mean, durability, you've got to keep in mind that these things are bolted to an engine at one end, the engine's moving backwards and forwards, you've got a huge amount of vibration, and that's before you start flexing the car, hitting it with rocks and doing other things. Thickness is everything if you want the thing to last, and we wore on our exhausts for 10 years. The other reason is sound. So you'll hear us talk about a good note and thickness being important for that.
Yep.
Obviously material matters as well, so to drive that point home, this is a piece of 3 or 4 grade stainless tube made by another company that I found online. I keep it lying around for example purposes. So, and she stops. Here's a bit of ours. So that note dies off almost immediately, and you're getting that thicker, chunkier sound out of it. And if you can imagine taking a saxophone or a trombone or something, which is a wind instrument, and exhausts are a wind instrument too. I mean, it sounds a little romantic, but they are. And if you made it out of really thin, horrible metal, probably not going to be a good sounding saxophone.
Mandrel bending, we hear it all the time, the industry throws that word around. Let's just explain to the folks at home what mandrel bending is, why it's important.
Sure. It doesn't sound like it's a very big deal, but trust me, it was when they invented it about 150 years ago. What a mandrel is basically like a big metal sort of tentacle that goes up inside the tube, and it's bendable, so that when the dies go around the tube, it's supporting the tube as it's going around, and you know, it's then removed. You have a true 3-inch diameter tube the whole way. The alternative to that is an older form that's still used, really commonly on OEM exhaust systems. So if you have a close look at the exhaust system on your car, you might find that when it goes around a bend, there's a bit of a divot in the pipe, and the pipe goes to a thinner diameter as it goes around. Because if you can imagine getting a drinking straw, like a Macca straw, and you bend it, it's just going to fold in half completely. So that's coming into play when the pipe is not supported by a mandrel bender.
So what you're getting when you mandrel bend a pipe is a true 3-inch all the way through. It doesn't go 3, 2 3/4, 2.5, out to 3 again.
Exactly.
Real quick one for you, makes and models.
Look, all your common stuff. We do all your Japanese 4x4s, you know, basically everything for pretty much 2000 onwards. Definitely all the imported American stuff that's hitting the shores now, your Rams, your Silverados, all your common stuff, we've got you covered.
Well, I gotta say, I have thoroughly enjoyed checking out the operation down here at Torqit, and I've had my mind blown at the amount of R&D that goes into making the exhausts and snorkels that we take for granted. A couple of mates back home, their 4-wheel drives could really do with a little bit of Torqit love as well, but for me, I'm lucky. I get to jump back in the Y62 and enjoy all 8 sweet cylinders. Catch you later.